Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was born in Boston, Massachusetts on July 22, 1890, to parents John Francis Fitzgerald and Mary Josephine Hyannis. The eldest of six children, young Rose was well behaved and sought the approval of both her parents, particularly her father. Her father, nicknamed Honey, served 2 terms as the mayor of Boston. Raised in the North End of Boston, Rose was a devout Catholic girl habitually praying and reading the Bible. Her thirst for knowledge came from her father, whom regretfully never graduated college, but would cut out newspaper articles or relate pertinent information to his peers or anybody that would listen. Rose would carry on this tradition by carrying a small spiral notebook in her purse and jot down and share information, events, and happenings of all kind. She spent her early life around family and friends, taking trips on horses and buggy rides to her grandparents, climbing apple trees and picking wild flowers and berries of all kinds. Her mother taught her the art of frugality, a trait which stuck with her entire life. She never saw the need to waste food, time, or money, which she practiced in spite of her wealth. Her mother also instilled discipline to her children whenever they would act out. Her father, although loving, worked long hours or traveled days or weeks on end. Rose and her future husband, Joe Kennedy, first saw each other but never met at Old Orchard Beach. A group photograph shows the two smiling with family members. It wasn't until 1907, at the age of 17, that Rose and Joseph were to meet. Their courtship was to last 7 years before they tied the knot on October 7, 1914. Their union produced 9 children, 5 females and 4 males, including an American president, a senator, an attorney general, a war hero, and a member of English royalty. Rose raised her family with a firmness befitting of a strict nun, expecting no nonsense and discipline. Prayers needed to be said, rooms needed to be in order, and teeth needed to be brushed. Dinner was always served at a specific time. If they were late, there were repercussions, oftentimes resulting in no dinner. If they needed to leave the table before it was time to go, they had to politely ask rather than just leave. Rose's life wasn't free of tragedy, however. 4 of her 9 children died in her lifetime. Her first child, Joseph Jr., was tragically killed while flying a mission for the English, in which he was told that there was a 50% chance of survival. His plane, full of explosives, was to fly over enemy-occupied territory, upon which he was supposed to eject and parachute to safety while letting the plane crash and explode into the intended target. The plane didn't make it, however, and it exploded over the English Channel in 1944. On May 13, 1948, her second daughter and fourth child, Kathleen, or Kick, as she was affectionately called, was killed in a plane crash while vacationing in France with Lord Fitzwilliam, whom she planned to marry. Her second child and 35th President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, was gunned down in Dallas, Texas on November 22, 1963, while riding in a motorcade. Robert, or Bobby, her second youngest son, was shot and killed in a hotel kitchen in California while campaigning for the presidency in 1968. Another child, Rosemary, her first daughter, was deemed retarded, and the decision was made to have a risky new medical procedure done called a lobotomy. The surgery didn't go as planned, and she was referred to a house for the mentally challenged. Her married life also had its ups and downs. Her husband's promiscuity were to be a stain on their relationship. Joe went even as far as to introduce his mistress, actress Gloria Swanson, to her. Humiliated by her husband's infidelity, she left him for a while and moved back in with her parents. Her father eventually persuaded her to go back, stating that divorce for her wasn't an option. With all the tragedies and unfortunate circumstances in her life, she would deal with them with her trademark virtues of grace and faith. Rose was to devote the rest of her life to her religious practices. She was a proud homemaker and was later anointed the title Countess of the Holy Roman Church for her generous donations and commitment to the Catholic Church. Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, mother of 9, dedicated wife, and compassionate philanthropist, died in Hyannis, Massachusetts, on January 22, 1995, at the age of 104. She was survived by her remaining children and countless grandchildren and great-grandchildren.